Welcome
back
to
TAE Time
why'd you gotta sing it like that?
Podcast.
Why you gotta sing it like that?
Because I want to.
That's weird, bro.
You're weird.
bro.
You're weird, bro. You are weird.
You're weird, bro. Nicola's just in a little mood because I got today's Wordle faster than her. Always.
No, it's not always. First of all,
it's only been one time that you've gotten it faster than me.
I think
one time. And that
twice
time,
or 3 times.
No. It was one time. I remember specifically.
Twice or 3 times.
And it was one time. I remember specifically why it was one time because you gave me the word to start with, and
that's the event only you always seem to remember.
Oh,
you seem to forget the other 2-3 times. Idiot.
Yeah, sure.
We usually get them in the same amount of tries anyway.
Yeah, after I got you good. Yeah.
You got me good.
I'm like, yeah.
Because you're inside my brain.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
I am the residential Wordle champion in the relationship anyway. I am the residential Wordle champion. I am the back-to-back champion.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No.
You're just sad. And you just watch cartoons.
I am sad and I watch cartoons. Let it be known. I'm sad and I watch cartoons. I sit out on my chest, yes.
That's good.
Well, that's today's intro anyway. So how are you? How's things?
Wagwan. All good here. How about you?
I'm good. Been chilling. Back to playing games on PC recently. Like I showed up, is it 2 days or 3 days in a row? To my friends on Discord, they're like, "Oh my god, we haven't seen you like a month or two." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I've been playing the PS5." But no, but I'll probably be back on PS5 now again because I just got Kane and Bridge of Spirits, so we'll see how that game plays. Also, we have to finish It Takes Two.
Yeah, we do.
So
we're taking a break from it, so it's not like
taking a break. That's such a Nicoletta thing. Like,
no, it isn't. I feel like we've been doing other stuff.
Every time I say I literally, so we'll be there and then I'm like, "Oh, Nicola, what do you want to do like an evening or whatever?" And I'm like, I'm going like, "Let's play." I'll be like, "Let's play." And then she's like, "Yeah, play." And then I'm like, "We play It Takes Two?" And she's like, No, play.
You play.
She's like, "You play."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but why are you like rolling your eyes like as if you don't still get to do the activity?
I still get to do the activity I want to, but it's kind of like, it's such a typical you thing. It's like you like do something until like halfway and you're like, stop. And then maybe you start it again and finish it, or you don't. You know, it's like fucking all the shows you start, you stop. And then you like maybe finish them.
It depends. Like eventually I'll get around to them.
Eventually, like a few years.
Unless it's like Vampire Diaries, who I had to restart from the beginning because I didn't know what the story was.
Well, that show's trash.
But I don't know. It just depends. Like, it just depends. For me, I get an ick to that thing, and I'm like, ew, I don't want to do this anymore.
Women.
But then, like, you know, even like with watching gaming, it's different because I'm not the one playing.
You're not invested.
I'm not the one like doing it. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is enjoyable. Watching someone else like go through the pain.
Fair, I guess. But yeah, no. So, but I need to finish It Takes Two because I hate not finishing games. Like, I like finishing games I started. I think there's very few games I've like started and never finished. Yeah. I'd say like one of them was like this old game on PS3. It's like Mercenaries or whatever. I like played the first 2 missions. I was like, this game is trash. And then I just stopped playing the game.
That's all it took?
Yeah. Like, I was like, this game is really bad, or something.
I feel for me, like especially if I really like something, I will prolong it, like, so that I have it for longer.
Oh, no, I'm just like, let me do it.
No, I can't. If I do it all in one go, I'll just feel empty as fuck after.
Nah, you just move on to the next best thing. You just keep jumping around.
Could never be me.
Never be me.
But anyway, let's move into today's topic.
What's on today's menu? I have no clue, by the way. I'm as blind as you guys are because Nicola didn't let me know.
You probably saw the title.
I didn't.
Don't read my title. But anyway, so this is something that Fuad also suggested. So like, shout out to him. Like, he's just coming up with these ideas.
2 for 2.
No, but I remember we did do this with, I think we did it with Mona and myself. We did a Stereotypes Debunked.
Oh yeah, we did
like
2
some episodes.
Yeah.
And we never actually did a Nigerian one.
Yeah.
And so I thought it would just be,
we're back at
fitting.
This. I was trying to avoid this like the plague.
Yeah, another Stereotypes Debunked, and now edit in like a really cool like
I'm not doing that.
I know, but still. Anyway.
Still.
So.
Sparkling water still.
We'll just get started with the first stereotype
Right.
that Google has, right? So, Nigerians are into advance fee fraud. So, like many Nigerian Prince 419 scams.
Many Nigerians, no. Like in the amount of Nigerians there are in the world, no, it's like a minority. But the fact that there's a lot of us, like in Nigeria, there's like 200 million or something like that, you know, and so like there's probably like a few million people or a few thousand, hundreds of thousands of people trying their hands in 419. They're called Yahoo Boys back home anyway. Like the reason they have the name, interestingly enough, Yahoo Boys is like yahoo.com, like Yahoo or Yahoo.co.uk, whichever one you're familiar with. Back in the day, you know, they'd be sending out emails of Nigerian prince to like Yahoo stuff or like all these other things of like emails, like, you know, phishing emails and stuff like that. And they would be making money and they would be spending all that money in Nigeria, living lavish lives. So like, you know, that's why they call them Yahoo Boys, because it's like guys who are like making money off, you know, fraud on tech, you know, like stuff like that. Yahoo. So like, and they're actually very heavily targeted in Nigeria, like by the police. But the thing is, like, the police target people who just look like Yahoo Boys, not people who are actually Yahoo Boys. As in, like if I was to go back home, they probably look at me like a Yahoo Boy because I have like an iPhone or like whatever, all these other, you know, like fancy whatever stuff, and they're like, oh, Yahoo Boy, you know. But they wouldn't like see me straight away because they'd hear me talk or whatever, and then they'd be like, yeah, this is a fucking Oimbo person right here. So, you know, but yeah, you know, like Yahoo Boys. So like, yeah, like it is something that does occur. It doesn't occur probably to like the maximum amount that people say like every Nigerian's out here fucking.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think there's clearly obviously a big chunk of them if a lot of the West is aware of them, but I don't think it's like
percentage wise,
all of
like,
them, like,
yeah, percentage wise it's very little in the broad spectrum of how many like Nigerians there are. You know, like I'd say it's probably like obviously don't quote me on this, like statistics was probably like 1%, not even, like way less than 1%, or like I say way less than 1%, because like most people don't have access to the tools required to do it. You know, like it's an actual like whole thing. Like you have to organize and like, you know, do all this thing. Like you got to get a computer. You got to get. Most people don't have access to that.
But like, I think even if they do, I think it's taken away from people who are like working hard for a living, and it's just like, oh, you just assume we're all like this one.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot
stuff
of
like
us
that.
are.
So, but no, like that is definitely a negative stereotype that does not ring true. Like there are a few, like Nigerians love money and we love to hustle. Like, and where one thing that's good and bad, I guess, is like we'll make money however how we can make money, whether it's good or bad. But one thing is we're good at making money. So like, you know, it is what it is. It comes part of the territory in it. But like the amount of people doing that is very little in comparison to the amount of Nigerians that exist.
Yeah, I can see that. On to the next stereotype. Nigerians are poor. And this comes from the stereotype that Africans are poor and in need of charity.
Like, there's Nigerians as a whole, like, wealth disparity is massive in Nigeria. Absolutely insanely massive. As in, you have people who are ludicrously rich. Like, you got, like, Dangote, who's the richest black man in the world, who's also Nigerian. He's, like, a multi-billionaire. And then you also have people who are dirt poor and have no money. They have no way of living, no way of surviving. And the thing is that wealth disparity is massive. Like, you have people living in, like, Lekki, like this kind of, like, island where, like, all these new developments are and all these people, and they're multi-millionaires, like, living there. And then you have on the mainland, like, majority of Nigerians living in some form of just passing by poverty or slightly little bit above, like, passing by, you know. So there's a big gap there. And, like, so it's not correct to say Nigerians, like, as a whole are poor, because there's a lot of money in Nigeria. There's a ridiculous amount of money in Nigeria. But due to the amount of corruption there is a big rate of, like, people who are poor, because, like, they're just not given the same opportunities, not the same chances. and it's like the system works against them essentially, kind of thing. And because like the government's corrupt, they're pocketing money instead of giving it to the people who need it. Like they're doing all these deals behind closed doors. They're taking all this money, fucking saying stuff like a dragon ate all the fucking money, that like it's like something 100 million disappeared, and they're like, oh yeah, a dragon ate it. And we're like, in this day and age, really, this
is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing, so like that's the big thing. Like, so no, Nigerians aren't poor, but a lot of them are made poor due to the circumstance of the people who hold the money.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest issue, honestly. Like the corruption is honestly the biggest issue in Nigeria, and like something that really needs to be sorted out. Like it's killing my people, honestly. It's just like ridiculous, like, and it's something we really need to have a look in, like, into our politicians, our governments, everything, and try to get rid of as much bad actors as there are, and obviously try somehow pump that wealth back into the economy and back into the people who actually need it. Like,
do you think that if someone was to come in, position of power to want to change everything, do you think it could be done?
It's very hard. Like there are people, like I can't remember. I think it was the recent president or whatever that was trying. Like it's really hard to do, because no matter how much power you have and you go in to try to do it, when everyone around you is working against you, it's really hard to succeed. Like it requires like a big group of people to make that change in the politics.
Not
I think
just one, yeah.
Not just one person. Like you can try as much as you are, but people backstab you because they're like, that guy, look at him, fucking like whatever, and then they'll just like pay people off, pay this, pay that, all these crazy stuff and all that. And it's just it's kind of crazy. You really need you need a group effort. You really need a group effort. You need a massive amount of people with a different change ideologies and mentalities to go in there, take power, and then actually do it. Because the current government as it stands as a whole is fucking corrupt as sin. Like.
But do you guys have like different political parties?
Yeah, but and like we have voting and everything as well, but like it's just there's so many times that I think this happened that like you think it's the right person going in, and then you just end up being corrupt. Because like that's the thing about politicians, they show you their best side when they're campaigning to get into power,
of course.
But then their true side shows up when they're actually in that power, because they're not going to get kicked out for X amount of time.
But that's not fair in assuming that like we chose the wrong person, because if they're all going to be like that, then
obviously so like and that's part of the stuff you have to like look into and think about, so it's kind of like that. And it's one of those things that you don't know until you know, but you have to do your best due diligence. Like you really need to question these people, really dig in, like like when they're having their rallies and stuff, really ask some serious questions, some hard hitting stuff, and try to get. But like it's just so hard, because like Nigeria's been suffering this way for a long time, and like everyone wants money, everyone needs money over there. So like every time they can get their hands on money, they're pocketing as much as they can.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. On to the next stereotype. Nigerians are uneducated.
Oh, absolutely not. I heavily disagree with that stereotype. Like, for example, I say to like so many people, like the reason I was able to start college at 16 in Ireland is because the stuff they taught me in Nigeria was way ahead of the stuff they taught me here in Ireland. Like, like it was like, and that's the thing, like education is taken so seriously in Nigeria. It is like, if you're not educated, like there's no point in you even living. Like that's literally how it's seen in Nigeria. Education is the biggest key, like it's taken very, very seriously. And so like, and it's probably taken a little bit too seriously, like definitely way too seriously, like, like to the point that these kids aren't getting opportunities outside education. Like all they're given is like study, do this, right? And like a lot of them will finish school like at super young ages. Like take my cousin, he recently moved here, right? Fufu yourself, like I think it was when he first came here, it was like 15 or whatever, and then or like around 15 turning 16, right? I turned 17 there recently. Like he finished secondary school at 15. Like here that's fucking like Like he was meant to go to college, like starting college at 15. Here they'd be like, what the fuck are you on? He's not mature. No, you're not. You're not mature anywhere. Like I was a super like special case that I started college at 16.
I think it's because you were turning 17.
Yeah, and it was because I was turning 17 that year.
Rare,
like they saw, but it's so rare.
Do you think that like this kind of focus on education and stuff takes away from people's like childhood though?
Like,
and teenage.
I feel like if you're talking from the sense of like the Western world, what we consider like a child's youth and stuff, and that, yes, but like that's not what it's considered back home. Like consider like youth is where you're meant to gain knowledge and the resources to be able to put yourself in a better position when you're older, right?
But like older seems to be 15.
As like 18, 19, 20. Like, so when you finish college.
Oh, after college, okay.
We put you in a good position after finish college. So education is taken very seriously because that's what's going to help you have the freedom of success, But does this make people there a lot more mature, a lot faster? Clearly, obviously. Like as in like in certain regards.
Yeah, because you're facing realities a lot quicker than
in certain regards, but also at the same time, like not really, because like everyone knows there's like educational maturity and then there's like street maturity. They don't really have the street maturity. They have the educational maturity but not the street maturity because they're all going like too young and stuff like that. And that's part of the reason why I think it needs to be like a mix of both, where it's like, yes, still keep the focus on education and pushing education well. Like, like education is very important there, especially like stuff like maths and numbers and stuff like that. But also you need to lengthen, like not be rushing through school and making sure, like, because it seemed like a good thing for a kid is like getting through school very quickly at young ages, but like there's stuff to be said for street maturity, to like be out on the streets and like gain more knowledge and do things, and like so like I think it needs a mix of both the Western and Nigerian approach, whereas like yes, education is important and like education should be a little bit harder because it isn't really not that hard here, to be honest, in comparison to Nigeria, for me personally anyway, from what I found,
But that's because you had that other experience. Most people here don't get to have the first experience.
Yeah, exactly. So like even like my cousin now, like when he's here, like he's like most of this like the stuff he struggles with is all the stuff that's like those extra classes, like stuff that like maybe like stuff like art or tech graph stuff, like that is cool but like not base education kind of stuff. Like those are the kind of stuff he struggles with, but everything else he's like, yeah, this is like pretty easy, and like given also he's also done it already, like that's also a big factor. If you've already done something, it makes it easier when you're doing it the second time. But yeah, like it's different, but I think we need a good mix of both. Like yes, focus on education, but also like try to let the kids live a little and grow. I feel like letting them experience things and do things will help them mature also at a good rate than just education.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the little girl. I probably sent it to you. It's like the little girl and her mom, and she knows the alphabet and the sounds of the letters at the age of 4, which is it's not really, you don't see that here. She's like reading out the letters like the way they're meant to be pronounced, and then reading out the word, and it's crazy to see because like clearly kids have the ability to do that at that age. We're just not doing it. Yeah,
because we are focused on letting, like here we're focused on letting them grow like in social settings and stuff like that, which is good. Like that's why I feel like it's good to do a mix of both.
Fair enough. It was actually a fun fact for this point was that they're the highest literacy rates in Africa in English in Nigeria. So it's like, where does this stereotype come from? Like
exactly.
Okay, on to the next one. This is more of a like, funny, like casual one. Everyone living outside of Africa. So like, in the community that you grew up with, because you're black, you must know all the other black
I know
people.
Every black person. Yes. Every time I go on the street and I nod to a black person, it's because I know that black person. That is all.
You know their name,
Yeah, I know where they're from. I know their life story. I know what age they are. I know their social security number, everything,
But then like, like say for example, growing up in such a small like town in Tralee, I feel like there were such little black people
Yeah, it was
that it's
easy to
almost
know.
difficult to
Like,
not know.
yeah, like in the scenarios
But
like that, it's very easy. But like I guess like the stereotype comes from the fact that for a long time, black people were a very small
yeah,
community,
very little.
very
Very
big
little.
minority. Like we're still a minority, obviously, but we're a very, very, very small community. So it's very easy to know all the black people. It was very easy because like
You only have each other.
yeah, you only have each other. You don't have anyone else. But now, especially in Ireland, where there's like a lot more black people, it is still kind of easy. Like even in Dublin, I find meeting black people who already know other black people I know,
Yeah.
and like whereas it's like even Ireland, like as they say, is a small place. Like like you know your man and your man knows your man and stuff like that. The black community is even smaller, so it makes it even easier.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like like usually like in Ireland, it's like maybe 2 degrees of separation. It's pretty much always 1 degree of separation in the black community. You know. So because there's just so little of us. But yeah, no, like we don't know all each other, but it is more likely that we would know of whoever because of how small the community is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that you know everyone in Nigeria. So
No, I know don't you know? I know everyone.
the
Every
entire
single
population.
all 200 million Nigerians.
Actually, you know the way like sometimes you walk around and then you're like not a black person here.
Yeah.
I assume you don't do that when you're back in Nigeria, do
No,
you?
God, no.
Like you're doing it at everyone.
I have no reason to do that back in Nigeria. Like here, it's like a sign of like, yo, brother, you understand this struggle yourself,
Yeah.
you know? Wagwan, what you saying? But like,
But then again, you see, you do that, but a lot of Irish people greet each other when they see. Well,
yeah.
not as much here in Dublin, right? But like in Tralee, like you're just walking past someone.
Ah, but that's because you all know each other, sure.
Yeah. It's a story.
You know, but yeah, no, like in Nigeria, no, I'm not going like fucking neck was fall off.
All around.
You know.
Okay, on to the next stereotype. Nigerians are loud.
So there's this thing, like everyone's like black people are loud, black people are loud, black people are loud. It's like a stereotype and whatever. Like it's like one of those like racist stereotypes, but there's like some truth, obviously. Like every stereotype, there's some truth to it in some sense.
Where's it coming from?
Like, so I guess like me, I'm naturally loud, so it doesn't really help.
But that's
the
because
thing.
your voice is really deep.
Yeah, and it like it echoes or whatever.
It's hard
you know?
to make it. When you whisper,
know.
it's like, hello. And I'm like, tone it down.
You know, but like the thing is, like let me take Lagos for example. That's where I'm from. Lagos is a loud city, bro. Lagos is loud.
In terms
like,
of like traffic, people.
everything, foot traffic, everything. Like when I tell you at all times of this play, that place is not quiet. Like Lagos is always busy. Like it's like New York. Like I always say, like me and my boss always have this funny thing because we always like send each other like TikToks. New York niggas don't sleep. They're always outside. They don't stay in their houses. For some reason, every time you see a video of New York, there's a bunch of people in the crowd together just doing bits at any time of the day being rowdy. I'm like, these guys do not stay in their homes.
Hustling.
They live outside. It's the exact same thing, Lagos. It is not quiet. It is loud. It is, and I mean ridiculously loud, to the sense that most of the time, if you're trying to have a conversation in an outside setting, you need to raise your voice.
Yeah.
Most people I've lived their entire life with their voice slightly raised more than normal. Like obviously they're not screaming, but slightly raised to hear each other because of how loud everything is. And I would say it comes from that sense that because everyone is slightly raised and their parents' voice are probably slightly raised due to all that hustle and bustle noise and stuff like that, it's just whatever, you know. And also like we're very expressive. Like we're very expressive. Like I tend to find like Africans are very expressive when we talk and do things, right?
Yeah.
So I think we tend to be more boisterous, like outgoing and stuff like that, and that's taken loudly. You know, that's fine. I guess the negative thing is when people take that and go like, oh, please don't be shouting at me.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. When you're like, yo, I'm just talking to you normally. I'm not shouting at you. I'm not giving you like hassle, bro. You know, and they try to take that in a negative sense, like, oh my God, all of you guys are always so aggressive. You know, they take our boisterousness for being aggressive, but that's not what it is, you know? Yeah. And I think that's just where it comes from and stuff, so.
Okay, fair enough. On to the next one. We have Nigerians are the world's happiest people. And this is from the UN ranked Nigeria as the 95th happiest place in the world and 6th in Africa. So there's also the stereotype of Nigerians being unserious, an unserious fellow, or a joker who always finds something funny but doesn't take things seriously.
Well, we like to have fun, like, but I don't say we wouldn't take things seriously. Like Nigerians do like to have fun, you know. We like to have, as Irish would say, banter, you know.
Yeah.
Like we're just it's like Nigeria's fucking popping, bro.
Yeah.
You know, we're always out here, you know, doing enjoyment, like listen to our music. We're trying to have fun, but no, like obviously I wouldn't say. I don't know how it was ranked the happiest place in the world. There's a lot of people who are not happy there. Not gonna lie.
95th, though, not the happiest.
Oh, 95th. Yeah, that's pretty. That's still high though. That's like
In terms of all the countries in the world.
in terms of all the countries in the world.
And it's in the top 100, so.
It's like actually that's on the high. Now that I think about it, like based on all the countries they track and stuff like that, that's actually pretty low. Yeah, I would agree more that I wouldn't say it's like happy. Like I feel like people are happy and like to have fun, but I wouldn't say people are very happy because like it's a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
You know, people are suffering there. You know, like But the thing is, one thing I can always say is like, despite all the suffering, people will still can still have a nice time when they want to, and like it just shows perseverance. You know, but like no, it's hard. Like like there's a lot of. Like, and it all comes back to the corruption. The corruption is like making that place a really hard place to live in, and that's why you have a lot of people who want to like move on and stuff, because like when the government is just fucking shit over consistently, like you're like fuck this, and you want to have you want your kids to have a better life than that, stuff like that. But like people are struggling, but even when they're struggling, I feel like they can have a smile on their face, but they are struggling, So
I don't know where this stereotype comes from because you're the saddest person I know, but
yeah.
Okay, on to the next one. These two kind of go hand in hand, but like Nigerians are arrogant and violent, and the source for this is the Boko Haram that affected some parts of northern Nigeria. So I think it kind of
like Boko Haram are just terrorists, like like, and that's like everywhere has its own fucking group of terrorists that people either revere or they don't revere. Like some people revere the Boko Haram, some people don't. Some people revere the IRA, some people don't. You have a bunch of fucking terrorist organizations in every part of the world, and that's just so like, are we saying every person in the world like would we say Irish or Americans are arrogant and violent because of their own terrorist groups? Like no, I feel like that's just like definitely coming from a place of ill intent. Yeah. Like, yes, we have one big terrorist group, and now all of us are getting labeled as violent because of this terrorist group. No, go fuck yourself.
It's the same as a lot of the refugees from like the Middle East and stuff that are always taken as terrorists and
stuff like that. So they're just slapping a label on it just because if fucking like reads headlines, and people love feeding into their racism. Of course. People love feeding into their racism, anything that makes it justifiable, But the arrogant part, there is like everything, there's some truth to that. I feel like Nigerians are more likely to be slightly arrogant because like, what can I say, man? We're one of the best Africans out there. Like, no, but like we out here, we're struggling. Like we always come out here, do things. We're always out here hustling, as I said.
Don't
but
take
like
away from them.
Yeah, but we're making a lot of fucking money. Like we're the richest place in all Africa. Like money, like revenue wise, creating money, greatest highest GDP. And like anytime you go outside, like into the Western world. You meet like a black person that's out here doing the most or whatever. Like most Africans are doing it. Don't get me wrong, but majority of the time, if you ask them where they're from, they're like, yeah, Nigerian or something. Like we're one of the first ones to do it. And like that time has like allowed us, to build up like a good state, and like I feel like that's where the arrogance comes from.
That shouldn't make you arrogant.
No, I'm not saying like people are arrogant. I said maybe a bit of the arrogance comes from there, that because like everyone, you've seen so many people who are Nigerian struggle, get to places and stuff like that, and then you want to go and do it, and you go and do it yourself. Like there's a little bit of arrogance gonna come there because you're like, yeah, I fucking did it, whatever. Yeah. But obviously, like arrogance is like is when it goes into the negative aspect. It like arrogance is the negative version of being confident, essentially, you know. And like, you know, obviously you don't want to be arrogant. You want to be living down reality, be humble, obviously. But you know, sometimes you gotta be a little bit, you know, like especially if you worked hard for it, you know, just sometimes just a little bit, but not too much, you know. Please respect yourself.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next one. Nigerians are homophobic, and this comes from the fact that Nigeria passed the same-sex marriage prohibition bill, criminalizing marriage between same-sex couples.
Yeah, that one's true. I would absolutely say so. Like Nigeria is very homophobic. Like they are very, very homophobic. Like it's just something that's not common to them. Like, you know, like we don't really have gay people in Nigeria. Like it's completely unknown to them. So it's weird. Like, you know, anything that is not known, humans perceive as weird or strange or whatever.
If you are, do you just like keep it hidden?
Yeah, I would say so. Like I would I don't really know much. I don't know any like gay person who's in Nigeria, like myself. Like,
well, okay,
you know, personally.
but there's a lot of people in Nigeria. You don't know the whole.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
So
as in like, I feel like most people aren't comfortable. Like the bad things happen. Like I guess like 'cause, and like if you come out as gay, like it's very negative for you. Like it's not something you would want to do willingly. You know, like if you're outside Nigeria, yeah, it's a different story. But inside Nigeria, you're not gonna do that.
I think it makes it so tough because you can't act upon anything.
Yeah, like so, like that's the thing is, like obviously, like growing up in the West, like you know, I have different ideologies, and I'm like, I just don't care. Like I always say, like let everyone do whatever the fuck. Like it has nothing to do with me. Like you do you. I don't give a shit. Like you know, you live your own life. I live my own life. You know that it has nothing to do with me. But yeah, definitely it is a problem back home that people are like, well, problem, not problem, depending on who you're asking and like who you're looking at. Like from the Western point of view, obviously it is. But Nigerians themselves, they don't see, like they're like, there's nothing wrong with this. This is our culture. This is how we do it, you know? But, you know, obviously things change over time. Who knows, like if that'll ever change. I feel like it'll be very hard because it's very set. Like it's not only do you have the barrier of culture, like African culture is not very gay accepting. Like I think of all countries in Africa, South Africa is the only country that accepts gay marriage. I believe I think I was looking at that like literally like yesterday or something. Like it was like some telegraphic about all the places in the world that accept like gay marriage or same-sex couples or whatever. And I'm pretty sure, in all of Africa, I'm pretty sure South Africa is like the only place that accepts same-sex couple. Like it's a very big cultural thing in Africa that like they're just not supportive of gay people, you know. And then not only do you have that on top of it, like a lot of Africans are also very religious, and then religion doesn't support it. So like you have two massive barriers there to overcome before anything would occur. So yeah, that stereotype is definitely 100% true. Yeah.
Valid. Okay.
Yeah.
The next stereotype, I guess, is more of an like overall African stereotype. So it's Africa is all savanna and wild animals.
Oh yeah, don't you know? Every single time I was walking to school, I had to run away from lions.
Oh yeah, and you were chased by them, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I had to have a gun with me just so I could shoot them.
It was actually, so there was like, you know, Delta Airline congratulated the US World Cup team on a victory over Ghana, and they used a picture of a giraffe to represent the African nation.
That is so
whereas like
dumb.
there are no wild giraffes in Ghana, so it was like what the fuck is this?
No, we do not have fucking wild animals roaming the streets in Africa, despite what you think. Like, yes, we do have for savannas. Yes, we do have like resorts in some parts of Africa, but we do not just have them casually chilling.
Yeah.
You know, and you have like bush animals, you know, and like places where aren't as humans haven't settled down in as much, you know, like they're more wild, obviously. Yeah. And even in Nigeria, you have areas you can go to that you can see bush animals and stuff like that. You know, like places that humans have just
like
not
with every other place.
Yeah, like you know, like if you go to a forest in Ireland, you're gonna see a fox. Wow.
Yeah, you know? and like you know, like bears, wolves, whatever.
You know, like
coyotes.
Yeah, in America, stuff like that. So yeah, but like no, we do not have wild animals just casually chilling like in the cities. Like that's not how it works.
Pet the giraffe. Aw.
Yeah.
Me going to Nigeria, I'm like, where are all the
Where are the
giraffes?
giraffes? Where are the lions? I wanted to see a hippo.
The next one. So the next kind of couple of ones are more African. So just so you know, like
Yeah,
kind of
no.
like overall.
I am African indeed.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. It's hot, dry, and sunny all the time.
No, fucking Nigeria literally has a torrential raining season, like where literally like pretty much around the summertime, like summertime here, like whatever that it is. Like yeah, it's hot, but it's pissing. I mean, torrential rain. Like if you know what torrential means, yes, it is heavy ass rain. Things are flooded. Like it is fucking, and it's humid as fuck because it's still hot as hell. It is still hot as hell because like at that part, like in Nigeria, because we sit on the equator, it is hot as fuck, but it's still torrential rain. But there are parts of Africa who aren't like super hot, like Africa just tends to be hotter because it sits near the equator, like most of the countries are very close to the equator, and even the ones that are far are not that far, so like obviously it's just hotter like in Africa, but no, it's not hot and dry all the time. There are places that are like in the savannah, who are obviously hot and dry all the time because it's a literal desert. Yes. That's
like the whole point.
That's like the whole point. But like no, in like across Africa, no, it is not. As you have different like land types, the different types of like weather patterns.
Like snow on Kilimanjaro, Tanzania.
Yeah, obviously, because it's high, like because high mountain peaks and stuff like that. So like like obviously like it's completely different everywhere. Like where you go, like so and those things make a difference. But yeah, no, torrential rain season happens in Nigeria, like and it is fucking terrible. Like great for the like farmers and stuff, but terrible for the streets.
Good for agriculture.
Yeah.
So the next one, you guys have no access to modern technology.
Oh no, absolutely not. There's like anytime I want to talk to my family back home, I have to send a carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
Write your letter. Flies.
Choose a feather.
Yeah, flies takes about 2 to 3 weeks of business. 2 to 3 weeks, before I get a response. No, fuck off. No, we obviously have technology. Like they have phones back there, they have everything. They have internet. Imagine they have internet. Could you imagine that? Well, yeah, no, they do have modern technology back home. They got.
I think it was there's like some statistic in 2013 that 80% of African people have access to a phone. So
yeah, like fucking business is booming. Like it's like I can take Nigeria for example, obviously because that's what I know. But like this, people in Lagos are fucking always on phones. Like as in even the banking system. Actually, funny enough, there is ahead of the banking system here. Like here, if I send 100 euro from my AIB bank to your Bank of Ireland bank, you're not getting it until tomorrow because of processing and everything. Whereas in Nigeria, if I send it from one bank to another, I'm getting that the same day, like within a few minutes. Damn. And if I don't get it, you call the bank and be like, yo, what's up with this transaction? Because like everyone's doing business, things have to go fast, everything is going. So like and it's still secure transactions, like they still do the same steps, but they do it faster because they're like, yo, we like people are moving money, we don't have time to be chilling out here waiting, so
that's true. There was also another statistic that was saying that people in Kenya are 4 times more likely to have access to a phone than access to a toilet. So like what does that tell you?
We out here, man, making money moves on the phone, talking, hustling.
Okay, the next one is, in order to develop, Africa should become like the West.
No, absolutely not. I fully disagree with that statement. Africa needs to be Africa. Like you be yourself, grow the way you are, just remove the corruption. And like Africa would be like some fucking, like right now, even if you go to like places like Lekki, as I said, it's crazy. Like you would think like, holy shit, like the fuck? This might as well be the West, but like African, like, we do things our own way. We have our own buildings and stuff. And it's like, like very modern and stuff. But
there's a lot of advancements, like, some aspects are more advanced than here.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think it needs to do its own thing. Like we're not Western, we are not European, like we're not European, we're not American,
but in terms of different. Like advancements and stuff, because I wouldn't be like, oh, we're different, so we have to be different. I think like what was it in Kenya, 50% of their energy comes from hydroelectricity, so that tells you that they're more advanced in that aspect, and that's something that we could take from
Yeah,
them,
exactly,
you
and
know.
stuff like that.
So it's
you
not
know?
like competing of like, oh, we're different, we have to stay different. I think it's like, let's
Yeah.
look at the advancements all around the world and learn from each other.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Absolutely. I think everyone does things in their own way, and I think it is what it is, and like we'll grow on our own. Yeah.
Fair enough. On to the next one. There's no arts industry in Africa. I don't know where this comes from, to be
Go
honest.
to the British Museum, please, and then read that question again. Thank you. Fucking
So
thieves.
on to the next.
Fucking thieves. Like literally, we have so much art that you guys literally stole art from us, and you're holding in the museum, and you're like, then when they ask, why haven't you given it back? They're like, well, like, it's not like we stole it, but like, it's owned by the British Museum. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, exactly.
It's like they own slaves.
Yeah, like, so, yeah, no, like, literally, Africa has so much fucking art, and so much so that you guys stole it.
But in terms of, like, arts, like, the music industry is crazy.
Massive,
from, like, some statistics I was reading, there's more movies in Nollywood than in Hollywood a year being produced. So, like, what does that tell you about the arts industry?
Our art industry is booming. Lots of creatives, lots of people doing what they want to do, painting, pottery, fucking making music, doing stuff in tech.
Doing bits.
Doing bits, innit?
Always. Okay, this is the last stereotype of the day. So Africans do nothing to help themselves.
Oh, yes, that is why we all just sit down and do nothing. No, I will leave it at this point. Like, Africans persevere so fucking much. Despite all the shit that's happened to us of the Western world coming in and fucking pillaging, raping our land, like literally in every sense of the word, we still came out here and we still try. We still do our best. We always want to do more. We always struggle. It's very hard to find like an African, like especially in Africa, who's not trying to struggle to do something for themselves.
Yeah.
Whether even if they've already made it or not, even people who have made it still keep struggling.
Yeah.
People who haven't made it keep struggling. No one just randomly gives up on life. Everyone is fucking ridiculously motivated consistently to like better themselves. You know, the people who literally have this card stacked against them will still get up every morning to try do something.
Yeah.
You know, like if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what.
Yeah, because
what
it's
does,
not like they can live off, the government.
Yeah, exactly. You're literally struggling every single day.
But also, I think the stereotype comes from like a lot of like charity that you see around here, and that's just so ironically I brought this to the table because I thought it was very interesting. So African people living outside of the continent send more money back than the whole Western world sends in aid, which is like 51.8 billion versus 43 billion.
Yeah,
so like,
because everyone
what does that
sends,
tell you?
Even my parents to this day still send money back home.
Yeah.
Even to this day, my parents still send money back home to their relatives, and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. Like everyone's trying, we're trying shit, like always there, like, like, and even like if you like look at it, like everyone, like I guess it's just amazing to me how like people can have everything stacked against them, but like they'll still struggle no matter what, And Africa is a great example of that, of like, I think Africa is probably one of the best examples of human perseverance in its truest form. Like no matter what position someone in is, they're going to persevere and struggle to like try to get to where they want, and everyone's doing it. Even if they die never making it, they still keep going. So I feel like that's a good way to show what Africa is and how much like insane people there are there. So no, it's pretty cool. No,
it is cool. So that was today's episode. Thank you for, participating and debunking all these stereotypes.
Anytime. I do for my people.
Yeah, very interesting insights. And thank you guys for listening or watching or whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Hope you learned something, enjoyed it, had a good time. Let us know what you want for next time.
Yeah, if you have any ideas, let us know.
Clearly it's working. Fufu's 2 for 2, bro. 2 ideas. 2 episodes. Come on.
Yeah, period. Till next time.
All right. Peace.